welcome. My name is Eric Bradley. I'm the winemaker for Sojourn Cellars.
And I'm Randy Bennett. I'm the associate winemaker and general manager for Sojourn Cellars. I joined Eric and Craig back in 2008, and we are thrilled to share with you our new wines today.
Today we're going to taste through our 2018 spring release, which is comprised of 9 wines, 2 2016 Chardonnays, 5 2016 Pinot Noirs, and 2 2015 Cabernets.
Let's get started.
We're here to talk about the 2016 vintage for Pinot Noir and Chardonnay here in Sonoma, specifically the Sonoma Coast. This is a fantastic vintage for us here at Sojourn. Got off to a nice start, end of March, beginning of April, just when we like it. Nice, mild, moderate weather pattern throughout the summer. We were able to retain some acidity, get nice phenolic maturity. Started bringing grapes in at the beginning of September.
Yeah, I remember in particular August being cooler than normal, allowing us to elongate the vintage and get nice hang time, and there were no major heat spikes or rain events that forced our hands, so we're able to pick at optimal maturity. I think it really shows in the wines.
Yeah, I agree. The single vineyard wines really benefit from this because we're able to showcase terroir, which is our task with those wines. And then the appellation wines, I think, benefit from the fact that we have tons of tools at our disposal so that we can really put together a mosaic that works and delivers a lot of value. So we're really excited about the vintage.
Yeah, let's taste them.
Okay, let's taste the 2016 Sonoma Coast Pinot Noir. I think what differentiates this from the rest of the Pinots in this release, obviously it's an appellation wine. And we're able to truly express the appellation, which in this case, Sonoma Coast is a sprawling one. We've got the Petaluma Gap that is represented by Gap's Crown and San Giacomo in this case. We've got the northwest corner of Sonoma County represented by Wallala, which is in Annapolis, right out by the coast. We've got some vineyards in Occidental, as well as stuff right in the teeth of the Gap, Rogers Creek. So little bits and pieces from all of the single vineyard bottlings that are in this release. It allows me to create layers, make a nice, rich, sophisticated wine. And in a vintage like 2016, the tools at my disposal are almost limitless. It's really an incredible value to be able to deliver. It's one of the wines I'm most proud of in the lineup. At $39, you just can't beat it out there. 2016 Rogers Creek Pinot Noir. This vineyard is located right in the teeth of the Petaluma Gap, at elevation, so it gets the full brunt of all the coastal winds that essentially come through this wind tunnel that goes all the way to the Pacific Ocean, right to this one specific block in this one vineyard. Helps me retain acidity, and it makes the vine struggle, which is one of the keys to producing nice intensity. This is mostly Pommard clone with a little bit of whole cluster that we've been doing since 2008. Been in this block for a very long time, and this is one of my favorite wines that we make year in and year out. It's very much a winemaker's wine, but it's that rusticity, the earthiness that we get from the Pommard, from the whole cluster, and from this really extreme, rugged site. San Giacomo, Pinot Noir, same vineyard that we make the Chardonnay from. Located at the base of Sonoma Mountain, kind of northern end of the Petaluma Gap. Very cold. We've been working with fruit from this vineyard from these same blocks since 2004. And Craig and I do consider this to be our flagship wine. The San Giacomo family have been fantastic partners over the course of time. Predominantly Dijon clones, a little bit of Swan that helps give it this gaminess, this animal character that is a great signature for this site. That said, I would say the mouthfeel the creaminess that we get year in, year out from this place is really what defines it. That the gaminess is great, but it's secondary to this glide that you feel when it's in your mouth. So for those of you who are fans of past vintages, you won't be disappointed. 2016 is as good as this vineyard can do. We're very proud to share it with you. Wallala Pinot Noir. The Wallala Vineyard is located in northwest Sonoma County, right underneath the Mendocino County border, about a mile from the Pacific Ocean. It's located around 1,100 feet elevation, and it's the combination of these factors that really help define it. We get great mouthfeel, very creamy, signature Sonoma, essentially mouthfeel. But it's this tropical lift, this exotic character that differentiates it from the other Pinot Noirs that are in this lineup. And we love them all. But one of the things that we love most is how different this wine is from the other wines that we'll pour for you side by side when you come into the salon. This is owned by Price Family Vineyards, great farmers. We buy Pinot Noir and Chardonnay from them, from Gaps Crown, as well as Chardonnay from Durell. We could not ask for a better partner. We think you're going to love it. Gaps Crown Pinot Noir. This is a blockbuster vineyard and typically makes a blockbuster wine. It's a hillside spot. It's right at the base of Sonoma Mountain above San Giacomo's Roberts Road Vineyard, northern end of the Petaluma Gap, so it's cold, but it's very rocky, and it produces small berries that are very intense. And the wine that it produces year in, year out has an elevated amount of structure relative to the other wines in the Sojourn portfolio. Unmistakably Pinot Noir. 6 different blocks. We do a little bit of whole cluster from the A28 clone, just to exaggerate and highlight the structure that we're trying to put out in front. We love this wine. It has a cult following at this point, and there is never enough to go around, so don't be shy. Let's taste the 2 Chardonnays. First, we've got the Sonoma Coast. This is a blend of Gaps Crown, Durell, and San Giacomo vineyards. All Petaluma Gap, but from different spots within the Petaluma Gap. Vinified separately, blended together right before bottling. Layers and layers of complexity. This is a tremendous value. At $39, buy it, pound it on your patio all summer long. You won't be disappointed. It's spectacular. As good as we've ever done with our Sonoma Coast Chardonnay, in my opinion. The San Giacomo Chardonnay is up next. This is a very cold site. It's the Roberts Road Vineyard, base of Sonoma Mountain, northern end of the Petaluma Gap. It's very, very cold. Cold air just gets trapped at the base. Allows me to retain acidity and create something that's very unique and specific to that place. This has its minerality, it's got freshness, it's got great layering, and a great food wine for Chardonnay. You can still enjoy it on your patio all summer long, but I recommend trying to pair some food with it as well.
The 2 Cabernet Sauvignon wines we're going to taste today are from the 2015 vintage, which was in the middle of a severe drought in California. The vines wound up waking up very early in February. It's one of the earliest bud breaks on record. And thus we wound up picking very early. We picked most of the Cabernet Sauvignon in late September, very early harvest. The weather conditions during flowering were poor, and so we wound up with very minuscule yields, really small berries, loose clusters, which resulted in high amounts of concentration, very dense wines with a lot of aromatic intensity.
It's that richness, the intensity, the concentration that really end up being great tools for us for making Cabernet in the Sojourn style. We want opulence, we want lusciousness, and structure with all that intensity that comes along with it. 2015, we had all the tools that we needed to make great Cabernet. And we hope you like them as much as we do. Let's taste the two cabs. First up, Home Ranch. So for those of you who've been following Sojourn from its inception, this is one of the wines we've been making from the early days. Craig planted this vineyard in 2002. It's in Sonoma Valley, on the valley floor, but very gravelly. Predominantly 337 clone of Cab. Very small berries, very intense. Ends up throwing this alluring blueberry note. Year after year, I wish I knew why or where it comes from, but we've come to expect it, and it's one of the trademark signature elements to this wine, or characteristics. It's smooth, it's undeniably Sojourn, and the 2015 is no different. So I think for those of you who like this wine in vintages of the past, you're going to love this one. Beckstoffer, George III. This is one of the most important vineyards in Napa Valley. Not just today, but going back to 1928 when it was originally planted by Georges de la Tour, who started BV. This was one of his and Andrei Chetelchev's kind of foundational vineyards. Right in Rutherford, kind of defines Rutherford dust. We get our fruit from F block, which is the block that you want to be in this particular vineyard. Very close to Conn Creek, so it's well draining even though it's on the valley floor. You get intensity, you get structure, but there's also this richness in the middle of this wine that gets communicated year after year. It is a hedonistic Cabernet. So that Napa style that really put Napa on the map gets demonstrated here in 2015. Again, no different. This is an outstanding vintage for Cabernet. So we think you'll like it. Well, that's the lineup for the 2018 spring release for Sojourn. Thank you for joining us. We look forward to sharing these wines with you. And Randy, thank you.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Cheers. Cheers to you.